Only those who have the ability to make the right split-second decision under fire will pass this task.
1-4. 13. Number 5.
One back to the left. One to the right. One to the right.
Where are we going to go? I'll go right. Turn around. What's happening? Where are we going to go? What decision are you going to make, Brian? Right, I'm going to go right.
We're driving through the Best Buy parking lot.
We're going to go right.
Yeah, we'll go right.
We're going to go right. Let's go right. You passed the test, Brian.
I don't know why you had to yell. Couldn't you get the same point across being calm, or it's about...
No, it's called pressure. Go right.
Where am I going?
Straight, Brian, straight. You'll swing to the right, at the lights, continue through the lights, take the first option, to the second set of lights, to the third set of lights. At the third set of lights, take a right. What we're going to do, Brian? Repeat to me what I've just told you.
First set of lights, take a right.
Negative.
I've lost 5 pounds since I've been here setting up all this stuff.
So this is another version of the Chunter Basha. We're in the Chunter Basha, and the reason we call it the Chunter Basha, it's a military terminology for getting someone off your chest, chatting, moaning, whatever you want to call it. And that's what it is. Although we're not moaning, we're just talking in general. And today doesn't really have a set theme. We're just catching up on a few things, and then we'll break it down on the next lot, where it'll be more permanently about set things that we've done.
It's a reunion for us too in the Chunter Basha, because we haven't done an episode out here in quite some time. You with your travelings in the UK. Yeah. Now you're back in the States.
And another reason we haven't done it in here is what? It's 120 degrees, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Billy and I just got back from a fun adventure.
Yeah.
A little road trip from where I'm from in upstate New York, Ithaca. Whole group of us, including yourself, went up there, had a great vacation. And then I picked up a new car, and I reached out to Billy and I said, hey, would you be interested in being trapped in a car with me for a few days as I bring this thing back down to Florida? I don't know why you agreed to it, but we had quite an adventure.
We did.
However, and we had a third travel mate.
We did,
as well.
yeah. We had the mediator, Alfie.
Yeah.
Alfie the dog was in the car keeping things calm. So part of the packing list for this journey, bear in mind I've never spent more than 24 hours with this bloke, was a gum shield and 2 sets of boxing gloves, because I thought this could go anyway, because we don't agree on everything, do we?
Not everything.
No, he just doesn't accept that I'm right, and that's where it always goes wrong. For 5 days, from North New York, Ithaca, which I always say wrong, all the way back down to where we are right now, which is in Lake Worth, West Palm, Florida, basically. It was a long journey, 5 days.
We were ready to be back here by the end of it.
We had a few moments. But before that, we get into the discussion about that. There was something that came to light to me. So Brian's done a trip over 40 days, nothing like we've just done, which kind of sparked this idea, if I'm honest, other than he was picking up a car to drive back, so I said, I'll drive back. And whilst we're up in New York, we're chatting away, and he made it pretty clear to me that part of this trip is getting his stuff together because he's launched his documentary, which is The American Highway. You might have seen a bit of it on my social platform. Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you for sharing that post.
No, you're welcome, mate. So I've looked at it, I've seen it now. It's absolutely brilliant. It's easy to say that, and I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. But what it was, Brian at the time he did this documentary, and if I'm not talking out of term, jump in, was going through a tough time in his life, and it doesn't matter what that was, but we all do this. It's a passage in time, a darkness, and you find a way out. And generally finding a way out is not to set a routine, change something completely, and that's what he did. So he up sticks, he thought, fuck this, jumped in his car, him and his buddy, 40 days, off he went. And luckily he documented it. And what I will say about it, to me, watching it as a outsider, it did 2 things. One, it was therapy for Brian at the time, and I think he needed it, and he can talk about it if he wants to. And he really needed it. So it was just a change of circumstances, balls out, a challenge, and took some risks, bit of resilience, stuck with it, perseverance, and came out with what is a brilliant product in terms of sorted himself out, and he's now got something that is documented and available to everybody else. I've seen it, and the reason I'm saying this, because I watched it and I thought, okay, 1, it inspired me. 2, again, I thought, wow, the realities of how people live, and what is really going on in the world and how things are, because we're all wrapped in this media nonsense and no one knows what to believe. So it was really good for that, just a grounding, if you like. And again, it was therapy, and it'll be therapy to a lot of people who are going through a dark space. There's a depression across the world driven by the media and people not knowing what the fuck is real and what's not.
Yeah.
That journey shows real people that we can all relate to, and it just brings things back down to ground level and reality. You know, you bump into everything from a guy living on the street to a musician to a business owner, and that's the way the world is. But that tells the truth through your eyes and through that camera, without it being tainted, because there's no need to be. There's nothing you're going to gain from that, other than an experience.
That's what America is. You can believe in different things
and start believing in ourselves again.
To see America face towards all the things we want to see, from the things we look away from.
They don't really steal as much. I'm not as much of a thief.
What's up, bro?
Hey, Ben.
I think America needs to try to make a change, but it's too late.
Of all the billions of people on the planet, we're so fortunate on any given day to encounter the people that we do.
To that degree, the trip was great, and I know we're going to talk about that in more depth, and Brian wants to sort of...
We filmed it. We're going to see what kind of content that we captured from it. We did some discussions in the car. But it was just really kind of loosey-goosey. There was no set plan. We just filmed whatever we filmed. There was no set structure. It was just two guys on a road trip with a dog.
What are you know, when you go, what bugs you? What are your pet hates? What pisses you off?
Pet aches? You call it pet aches? I call it pet peeves.
Hates, things that you hate. I'll give you an example.
We call it pet peeves.
You know what I hate?
What?
Okay, pet what?
Pet peeves is what we call it in America.
Pet peeves. Well, we call it pet hates.
See, we're learning about each other's cultures.
I got loads of them. And I got a lot here in America that I'll fucking tell you about in a minute.
Is it people losing stuff?
Yeah.
Like equipment, GoPros?
Yeah. In the confined space of like 2 meters, and you've lost Alfie the dog, you've lost all the leads.
There's a lot of pressure on me. There's a lot of pressure on me to keep track of all this equipment.
You have no idea what pressure is. So let me tell you. So pet hates. One of my biggest is people pissing on toilet seats.
It's the worst.
You know, you walk into a public bathroom. How fucking difficult is it to lift a seat, point your pecker in the right direction, and fucking fire? If you can't do that because the size of your pecker or the problem, fucking sit down and do it. And then get up, clean the seat, and leave it tidy.
You know what the worst is? It's just, you go in, you don't see anything on first glance, you sit down, and then you feel the stickiness, and then it's just...
That's why I always test it straight away with my tongue, just to make sure it's not...
You just gotta embrace it.
No,
honestly.
so that is a real pet hate of mine. I fucking hate it. I hate the laziness of people who can't be bothered, male and female, and there's piss toilet paper all over the floor and all that nonsense.
I mean, I'm one of those people that pisses all over the seat, so, but I still don't like it when other people do it.
No.
I'm just kidding, I don't actually pee on the seat.
Hey, 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 hey! Ooh. I feel like we never fucking leave that place. Are we going around in circles?
Wait, you're the one navigating.
Hang on a minute.
Hold on, we go.
It's not right.
Wait,
here.
we're back. Are we back in Binghamton?
We fucking are.
Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre.
It's Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre. How the fuck does that say berry?
B-A-R-R-E. Wilkes-Barre.
Bar.
Trust me. I used to think it was Wilkes-Barre, but it's Wilkes-Barre.
It's bar.
Okay.
Think about it.
Well, I mean,
how do you,
there's nothing to think about. That's how they pronounce it.
How do you spell the place where we have a drink? As in bar.
B-A-R.
Okay.
And that's
how do you spell? Hang on a minute. U-R. U-Y-O-U-R. A. No. A. R-E, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's bar.
So it's bar. It's bar.
It certainly ain't fucking berry, is it?
I mean, think about a lot of words.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about the word laugh.
How the American
Think about the word laugh.
culture
It should be log.
destroyed them.
Yeah. Fucking
Destroyed them.
All right. Well,
moving on. Is it nice?
we're going to Leesburg, Virginia. Gonna meet with my agent for the movie, sales agent, call him producer Owen, who we're gonna pick up some flyers from for American Highway to travel around, meet people on the highway, and promote the movie. Try and get people to order it because it's going to be U.S. distribution currently. We want to get international distribution soon, but in the U.S. it's going to be available to purchase on Apple TV, as well as Amazon and a bunch of other platforms too that we'll let everyone know about.
Good to see you.
I'm his cameraman. How you doing, mate?
Cameraman right here.
Nice to meet you.
Billy. He has how many followers does he have on Instagram?
Nearly 8,000.
Nearly 8,000 followers.
You got more followers than I do, bud.
Yeah.
You're in the midst of a very big star. That's it's a true Irish pub.
Have you ever been to Germany?
No.
They have these place guys called the beer kenners.
Let's do it.
Rost. Zwei Bier bitte. Schnell machen.
Yes, what he said. This is what you call another pint? Dude, this is not a pint.
One's the road.
Dude, that's a long road.
pint.
That is a long fucking road, brother.
So the Brits came down, helped themselves to food, a few souvenirs, left you with a barbecue,
It's very kind of them.
and marched on.
Yeah.
You're welcome. This is where you need to hand out.
I got my movie coming out.
Tell me about your first experience in America.
My first
How old were you when you first came to America?
I was 17. I just finished training, and the battalion had gone to Belize. And, you know, as we've been briefed about Central America, and that's all I remember hearing, Central America. I'm thinking, wow, that's great. So I rang my mum up and said, hey, in my head, America, all I'm thinking is beaches, sand, beer, chicks. It's going to be fucking wild. Or Daytona, I don't know. And bearing in mind, you know, I'd left school at 13. I had no great education. My geography was terrible. But America, so that's all I knew. So I went to the phone just before our passing out parade for the family coming down. I rang my mum and said, hey, I've heard I'm going to the 3rd Battalion, which is what I wanted. So she was obviously pleased, and she's and okay, where are they? And I said, oh, I'm going to America. Chicks, sand, good times. She's brilliant. Where about in America? I said, Central America. Yep, where Central America? I said, oh, Belize. And it just went quiet for a bit. And she went, you're going to the jungle, you clown.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so that was I ended up joining the battalion in Belize. We're on a 6-month tour.
I can picture you get out the plane like, where are the chicks? Where's the beach? I've been bamboozled.
I've been sold at dead. Anyway, so I ended up in Belize. And then midway through the tour, we got leave. I think it was a week or 2 weeks, I can't remember, maybe a week. And most people were going either to Cancun or to America. So I said, oh, I'm going to America. I'm going to the real America, what I dreamt of. And I did. And so I went with a bunch of guys that I didn't know that well, because I'd only been in the battalion a few months, and came to Fort Lauderdale, Miami initially. And we came across on TACA Airways, which is a Belizean airway, TACA. And everyone says it actually stands for Take a Chance Airways.
What did you parachute out?
Well, bearing in mind, you know, I'd only ever jumped out of a frigging parachute. I'd never really been on a commercial plane. This was really the first commercial, thinking about it, it was the first commercial plane I've been on. And flying from Belize City to Miami, you got free drink on the plane. I was 17-year-old, so by the time I landed, I was already hammered, drunk. And we get off the plane in Miami, go through customs, all this
It's the first time you've gotten off a plane after it landed instead of jumping.
No, that was the second time.
Oh, okay.
Flying to Belize was the first time I actually got off a plane without being thrown out the door, yeah. So it was the first time I ever got off a plane that landed when I first went to Belize. That was the second time then coming to America. So I ended up in Florida, a bunch of us. And there was a couple of groups of guys all on leave at the same time. So we were a small bunch of guys. There was another bunch of older guys that were doing their own thing. And we got to Florida and went up to Fort Lauderdale. And I'll never forget, we stayed in a motel called the Sandpiper. I'd love to see if it's still there. But back then, this was 84. It must have been the school holidays. What do you call it? Summer break? Spring break. It was just chicks everywhere, cars going up and down the strip, beautiful cars, pipping their horns, waving the flags.
Like Miami Vice, Don Johnson.
Mate, it was. And it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And
what was the drinking age back then?
Oh, it was 20, same as now, 21.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was 18 or something.
No, it was 21 because as I come through the airport, some copper grabbed me, and all the guys were there, and they realised we're veterans, and we were actually meeting up with a bunch of American veterans who'd just come back from, or not long come back from Grenada, and so it was going to be this big get-together Yahoo party, and the copper, being the good guy that he was, knew we were veterans or knew we were military.
Yeah.
So he kind of said, right, take him out my sight, get rid of him. Take him to an hotel, let him sober up because you're not allowed to. You're underage drinking. So to be fair to the guy, that's what he did. And we ended up in Miami on a bus and meeting up with these guys at the Sandpiper Motel.
You were able to get into the bars and stuff though?
Yeah.
Just because you went in with the big...
Yeah, just went in with the guys. Just drank and drank. It was great.
Yeah.
And when I see the photographs, I'll have to show you the photographs. I look about 9 years old. I look like a baby. Yeah, and then we ended up drinking in like the Candy Bar, which is quite famous, and I'd never been to a titty bar before in my life, and there's all these wet t-shirt competitions, so I just went there every day and loved it. I was the chief ogler, 17-year-old, all these beautiful women. And we're in a couple of bars there, and one of the bars, there was a bit of a fracas, and one of the guys got shot. One of my mates got shot.
Oh, geez, that's...
Yeah. So it was
puts a damper on
a
the
small gang of Puerto Rican kids that had been thrown out of the club or the bar, and they came back with weapons, shot the bouncer, and then just fired indiscriminately into the bar, basically.
Where did he get shot?
Through the femur.
Oh,
so he ended up in hospital, obviously, with a gunshot wound. And the good part of that story is, though, the nurse who took care of him in the hospital, they became lovers, got married, and still
way.
Yeah, and still together today.
You know that's a hell of a party when someone gets shot,
mate.
and then finds their wife through the nurse. That's a hell of a party.
Yeah. Keep your eyes on the road, keep your hands on the road.
Quick cut to Alfie's face right now.
So Alfie, what are you telling me? What is it?
That your feet smell like ass.
That's Alfie's ass.
No, that's...
So Alfie's down by my feet.
What a coincidence that Alfie's ass started to smell as soon as you took your socks off and put them...
Brian, what has he been doing? It's his ass. He's been farting all the way down here. Look at him. What are you doing, Alfie?
That's low to blame it on your dog. Now we're heading to Raleigh. Gonna be with my college roommate Dan, who is gonna be accommodating us there and show us what Raleigh, North Carolina is all about. Describe Raleigh to us.
Oh gosh, it's a pretty southern city with a huge transplant population from all over the country, from the Northeast, from the Midwest, from out West. Everybody's moving here to have a better cost of living and to have So the bar that we were at, that's their patio. We had a spillage.
But I would appreciate if you could light that up.
Keep that camera running, because I haven't knocked any down for a few years, so he's going to be the first one getting it.
Like different demographics in America.
And this is Brian. Yeah. It's about 2 million lives and people.
The homeless population to conservative.
Social media. Don't tell the fucking
But check it out. Please check it out. It's good. It's all about.
So that's what we did. We had him away. We turned up at the party a little bit late. I told him do not start without me, which he generally listens to. And then I walked in and I says, oh, as he's chatting, getting to know people, getting a little bit nervous and ready to do his thing, I says, I've got a couple of friends, of which he completely ignored me. So I go to the back room and his mum and dad had stood there and his sister goes, oh, he's talking to some chicks, of which his dad just burst into laughter. I says, let's go. So we walked in there. He's got his back to me. I tap him and went, hey, these are my friends that I'd like you to meet. And he kind of half-heartedly turned around, looked, and then almost fell through the floor. It was his mum and dad.
He's like very disoriented.
Yeah, it was just a great moment for him to realise, you know, what an important thing this was and how much it meant to them as well. So that was the first part. He thought that was it, the deal done, and that was kind of sneaky but cool. And then about 10 minutes later, I said, by the way, I've ordered you a beer. And he was like looking at me going, yeah, so what? You've ordered me a beer. Like he does. And anyway, so the beer arrives and the young lady with a cap on, carrying it, walks up to him and goes, this is your beer. He turns around, grabs the beer, takes a look, looks away, takes a second look. How did it feel, mate? Really?
It was awesome. It's so weird when you just people you don't expect to see show up, and it was surreal, and it made it such a special night. You don't know how many moments like that in life you'll get where you're celebrating an achievement, you have your family there. I mean, It made me realize, like, just soaking it in, you enjoy it in the moment, but then just thinking about it afterwards and really appreciating, you know, if you're lucky enough to get those moments in life, just having a few, they don't come by often.
And I'll tell you what, it's a good point, because I always, when I'm doing my talks now, something that drives me big style is time. Everything's time. And I talk about the moments where I used to say to my dad, I'd say, well, what you been up to? And I want to talk about what I've been doing and all this sort of stuff. And I'd say, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next time I come home. Kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get that opportunity because my dad passed away. And so I just always say now, make that moment now. And family and friends, stay close to them. Don't fall out of them, because you never know if you're going to make breakfast the next day. You never know what's going to happen to you. So I realised how important that was, and made sure that, you know, for other people to do that. And I always just say the same now, you know, I'll make sure, if it means I have to travel 1,000 miles just to go and spend 2 hours with my sister or my best mate, I'll do it, because I can do it, because there'll come a time you can't do it. Without getting too moored about this, time is that important. And those are moments, like you just said, that they're memories. That's what you're taking away with you.
Yeah.
They're the good times, those photographs, those memories, those laughs, those jokes, those surprises. That's what it means.
Thank you guys for being here. This means a lot to me. It's been a long journey getting this movie made, a little over 2 years. There are a lot of highs and lows getting here, but I would say one of the happiest moments I can have in this process is literally looking out the side of the turn now and seeing what you're doing. So thank you guys for a lot of old friends, family.
Being able to share it with family, it was amazing.
Thanks, Mom, Dad, my sister. They came here.
So thank you.
If I hadn't done what I did, that probably.
What did you do? I know, I stopped it because I stepped on the plane.
You set fire to the putter outer.
Why should the putter outer catch on fire? If it's the putter outer.
Fucking you had hold of it. It never happens when I do it. To put the flame out, you've got to starve it of oxygen. So you come in from the side and you go over the top and you do that.
I just went over the top. Boom.
Try it on this one?
Yeah, can I?
Okay, so Brian's just had a perfect example of how to do it. Stand by. Brian, how do you spell buffoon?
What the? What?
You fucking off it.
Are you serious? Get out!
My house is on fire!
Get the fucking pipe! Get something!
Sorry about, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that.